And we have a go for auto sequence start. Discovery's onboard computers have primary control of all the vehicle's critical functions. Start, 2, 1, booster ignition, and liftoff of the Space Shuttle Discovery, returning to the space station, paving the way for future missions beyond.
Welcome to the launch pad. I'm your guest, Harry Washington. And today's segment is going to focus on STEM. And for those of you that are not familiar with STEM, STEM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. And today we're joined by Dr. Rebecca Klemm, the numbers lady. Welcome to the show, Dr. Klemm.
Well, thank you for being here, for inviting me. I'm happy to be here. This is great that I brought along Team 10 with me, led by Zero the Hero, and here are the small ones, and here's some more of the others we'll hear from a little bit later. But we're pleased to be here.
Thank you. Tell us about yourself.
Well, I actually have a PhD in statistics, and I had previously taught all school grades from 7th grade through PhD and judges and juries through storytelling to discuss concepts for people. People asked me a few years ago, about 3 years ago, if I could come up with an idea and a program to encourage numerical literacy and younger children through elementary school, pre-K through elementary, that would entice them to find numbers relevant to their life.
Excellent.
So I developed Numbers Alive.
Excellent. And how long has, well, tell our viewers, how long has Numbers Alive been in existence?
Well, it actually, as a name, has been about 2 years now.
Okay.
And we've been working on the programs, figuring them out, and coming up with our now designed, patented plush education toys.
And what inspired this concept of the way you use numbers?
I look, as I've been teaching my whole life, one of the things that I found about a number of people who were not thrilled and they found math difficult was, first of all, there's a negative concept sometimes to the word, so I use the name Numbers Alive.
Okay.
And they have fear of it. So the idea to me was, let's find out why numbers are here. Why have cultures developed them? Where are they in our lives? And why should we care about them? Because they are everywhere.
Exactly.
So that is the basic approach. Look around your environment, look around where you live, learn how they fit in with cultures and history, and realize they're everywhere and they're important to everyone.
Now, what age group benefits from your product?
I believe that it's pre-K through 5th grade.
Okay.
I've had people older love the products, and I've had people even younger, all the way through tiny, tiny babies.
Okay.
So it's whatever age seems to be interested and ready to hug a number, and I don't know when the last time you hugged a number was, okay?
I've never hugged a number before.
Well, listen, 4 needs a hug.
Okay.
All right, so 4 wants a hug.
All right, and I'm gonna give 4 a hug. But you also want to do a demonstration.
Yes.
For our viewers. So I guess right now it's your time.
All righty, I will do that. So we have put together a book where the numbers take you around Washington, D.C. And the book is called Numbers Alive Books for Young Travelers, Washington, D.C. This book will tell you a lot about the city of Washington, D.C., the nation's capital, through the eyes of Team 10, followed by Zero the Hero. He is the leader of the team. And let's take a look at a few of the pages. First of all, 4 wants to tell you about 4's favorite place. So 4 is showing you the book version. And what is 4 holding? Well, what does the book say? We're right here at the U.S. Capitol, and 4 says, Lady Liberty, right up there, tops the Capitol dome. It's also the place that Congress calls home. It's where legislators make laws within, and D.C.'s geographic quadrants begin. And you might look it over here. 6 says, what are quadrants? And we tell you over here, answers. Washington, D.C. is divided into 4 parts: northwest, northeast, southwest, and southeast. And that, of course, is why all tourists are always lost in Washington, D.C. We also have some other little facts to tell you about Lady Liberty. It says, Lady Liberty, 4 has to read it to you. Let's take a look. 4. Lady Liberty is more than 19 feet tall and weighs 15,000 pounds. Whoa, she's heavy, 4 says. So that's 4's favorite place. Now, number 1 would also like to tell you about 1's favorite place. And where do we suppose that is? The Washington Monument. All right, one wants to read to you about the Washington Monument. Here is one in small version, standing version, and here is number one at the Washington Monument wearing a wig. We'll come back to that. We see that one is measuring the Washington Monument. It's 555 feet and 5 1/8 inches tall. He says, I look like the monument that makes my heart sing. The first President Washington refused to be king. And over here, number two says, did men really wear their hair like that in Washington's time? Which is why number one is wearing the wig, because we're at the Washington Monument. And the answer is yes. Distinguished men wore powdered wigs. Now, Washington, one also knows, really wore his own hair, but powdered his own hair. He had such long hair, he didn't need a wig. The other little fact we have, the monument has one elevator and 896 steps. Now, we all know that there was an earthquake last summer, so you can't go up to through the monument right now, but one is looking forward to the day that you can all join him and go up into the Washington Monument. Okay? So that's 1 and 4's favorite places. Now another one of the numbers, number 7. 7's kind of the rogue. Look, the young folks really love 7 because of his mustache. And 7 is the one number that is on a tour of the world looking for the 7 continents, going on the 7 seas, and the 7 wonders of the world. And in Washington, 7 has picked the 7th Street Arch as his favorite place. So here's 7 at the 7th Street Arch. We know it's at 7th Street, and this is the arch. The rhyme, he says, is, at 7th Street, the Friendship Arch, a gift from China stands. It links Beijing with Washington and celebrates our lands. And then number 8 is asking a question, how many roofs are there? And 7 wants you to know that there are 7, of course, 7 roofs on the 7th Street Arch. Oh, my hat is falling down. Got it right there.
Okay.
So this arch is very famous. It's the largest in the world of that variety that was a gift from China. So that's 7's favorite. Okay. 6, where does 6 want to go?
Okay.
We'll do one more part of the book. 6 likes to sing. 6 plays the guitar because there are 6 strings on the guitar. But 6 has selected in Washington as his favorite place,
Excellent.
the Air and Space Museum. And you might say, why? Well, here is 6 in a spacesuit with his number 6 on the front. It says, at 6th and Independence, a fun place to be. Air and Space has highlights. These 6 you must see. I'm here in a spacesuit playing tricks. Yes, you guessed them. I'm number 6. So 6 is hiding in the spacesuit. And number 4 says, why is 6 holding up the Interstate 66 sign? And all of you who live in the Washington area should know, and particularly because right here we have the Space Shuttle Discovery as one of the 6 items. And the Space Shuttle Discovery is located out at the 2nd location of the Smithsonian American Space Museum, and you have to take Route 66 to get there. So 6 is trying to tell you that to see all of these special things that are listed here, you need to also go not only inside this building, but also take Route 66 to the 2nd location next to Dulles Airport in Virginia. Okay. Now, 0 is the hero of the team, and he's sitting very nicely over here, and he wants to tell you a couple things. First of all, he also wants to be shaded by the umbrella that is part of where I come in. 0 is wearing his hip-hop hat, and he is the leader of the group. We have videos and songs, and I will just sing a tiny bit to get you inspired, and then you can go on YouTube and see it. He says, and all of them together say, Team 10, we're numbers alive. Team 10, we're numbers alive. It's cool to be numerical in America. Team 10, Team 10, it's cool to be numerical in America. Well, they're all happy to show you around Washington. 0 wants to wave. Thank you very much for your time. And 5, of course, we only have the little 5, wants to high five everybody and say, high five world, high five Harry. Where's his arm? High five.
Yes.
There you go. We hope you enjoyed it, and come see us. We're going to be performing many places around Washington. Dates are getting set but not finalized yet.
Okay.
But we will be in Dallas. We're being asked by the State Department perhaps to go around different places. So take a look and come visit us, and please read the book. It'll tell you a lot about your nation's capital.
And to learn more about Dr. Klemm, you can find her information at the end of our show. Thank you, and we'll be right back. Welcome back. I'm your host, Harry Washington, and you're with the Launchpad. I'm joined here with our guest, Dr. William Gordon, professor at Howard University. And this is our Spotlight segment where we get individuals from the community who work in STEM. Dr. Gordon, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I have pleasure being here.
Tell us a bit about yourself, Dr. Gordon.
Well, I'm originally from Richmond, Virginia, where I attended the public school systems, as most kids my age did, and was fortunate enough to win a scholarship to go to college. So I attended Tuskegee University, graduated, and took a job in New York City, which is a very interesting job because it was a part of what I thought was going to be my career, because it was in public health. And in high school, I'd been told that with my talent, I probably should be a medical doctor, as many kids are very often counseled to do. But it opened my eyes about the medical profession, and it taught me that there are a number of people who really are not best served by pursuing something that isn't really their passion. And so I learned what my passion really was, and it was working in a laboratory and teaching students. And so I chose to not go to medical school, which was disappointing to both my parents. But I earned a PhD at University of Minnesota in an area called plant physiology and biochemistry, which is what I really love, and had the good fortune of being recruited to take a job at Howard University, where I've been through most of my career. The only exception to that is the 2 years that you know about when you and I worked together at the National Science Foundation. But other than that, I've been at Howard University teaching and doing research.
Now, what inspired you to want to be a professor?
Well, after I realized that being a medical doctor wasn't really my passion, it became obvious to me that I needed to use my talents to their fullest. And it's very interesting that in my family there are 2 major professions that people pursue. People are either teachers or preachers, and I'm not cut out to be a preacher, and so I chose to be a teacher, and it was extraordinary because I do it with little or no effort. It just absolutely comes natural to me. What I really had to work most difficultly in trying to get done was the skills to be a researcher, to actually do research. But teaching just comes natural to me.
So your students wouldn't accuse you of preaching, would they?
Well, some of them will tell you I do a bit of preaching too when it's necessary, and let me tell you, it is very often necessary. Some of them do not always come with the what we think is the right attitude. Certainly serious enough in their studies to potentially have a career in an area as challenging as science. The STEM areas are challenging areas. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And a number of students who come to realize that early become very serious and set their sights on achieving at a very high level very early in their career. Those who don't struggle a bit because later on they find that there are a number of things that they could have and should have done that they
Right.
didn't do,
Right.
that they have to sort of catch up on.
Now, and as you stated, we've had a friendship for over 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
and we've had many conversations about just the things we're talking about now.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think? What's the reason, in your opinion, why African Americans struggle in STEM areas?
We struggle in the STEM areas in great part because our early training in science and math is not as strong as it could and should be.
Okay.
Many of us grow up in inner city schools
Yes.
where the teachers who are assigned to such schools
Right.
don't have the background that they really need. In
Right.
fact, I can tell you, in my high school, my own high school, one of our science teachers was the coach of the football team.
Okay.
Now, I don't think you can imagine that he was sufficiently well trained to be a science teacher, and yet
Right.
that's the kind of thing that was done then, and I'm unfortunate to know that
Right.
it still happens
Okay, right.
in a number of inner city schools now. And so the preparedness is a major problem for many of our students. They just don't get the background that they need.
Right. Now, Dr. Gordon, being a professor at a prestigious university, as well as working at the level that you have, what things would you recommend for students to be able to get themselves prepared for college?
Well, certainly there has to be the right attitude about learning.
Okay. Okay.
Even though you and I have our passion in STEM,
Right.
it really doesn't matter what a student really aspires to become.
Okay.
They have to have a scholarly attitude about it, because
Yes.
almost any discipline that you choose is going to have a wealth of information that you're going to need to learn.
Okay.
And if you don't take a scholarly attitude about it, you're going to find that if you attempt to pursue the career, you're going to be competing with people who are quite scholarly about it and who are quite passionate about it, who will out-achieve you. And as a
Exactly.
consequence, you will not necessarily be able to have the kind of career that you might wish to have.
Dr. Gordon, what advice would you give students in terms of choosing a college?
Now, that's a very good question to ask, because students really shouldn't try to choose a college by themselves.
Okay.
They really should seek help about it, and the help that they should get should come from parents and teachers and counselors in their school system.
Okay.
And the reason I make the point that it should be a combined effort such as that is because there are many aspects about going to college or choosing a college. First of all, you certainly want to choose the very best college that you can attend.
Right.
And based on your academic standards, you may have a number of options
Okay.
based on the tests that, or certainly the qualifying exams that are given to decide on students attending various colleges.
Okay.
But in some instances, there has to be a compromise, because the cost of attending higher institutions now has escalated tremendously.
Exactly.
And very often you can't always go to your first or second or even third choice of schools.
Okay.
You have to make a choice that's a bit of a compromise
Okay.
to attend a school that you can afford.
Okay.
Now, I think many people, excuse me, get upset about that, but you really shouldn't be upset about it, because if you choose a school that's in the top 200 schools in the nation, you're still going to a good school.
Okay.
Because keep in mind now that there are over 5,000 schools and colleges in this nation
Exactly.
that you can attend. So if you attend one of the good schools, you're going to be quite well off, particularly if you apply yourself and, as I said, take the scholarly attitude and try to learn as much as you can.
Gotcha. Now, our last question before I close this segment. How do you respond to the stigma that there's not lucrative careers in STEM?
Well, once I had decided I was not going to be a medical doctor, I decided that I would have to choose something that would make me happy, because it was always something that my father had said and instilled in both myself, my older brother, and my younger sister. And he always told us, whatever it is you choose, make sure it's something you have a passion for, so that you can do the very best you can. He said, it doesn't matter about the money, because if you are among the best at what you do, the money will come.
Yes.
Well, it turns out that he's absolutely correct. I have colleagues who are medical doctors who don't make as much money as they would like, but unfortunately, not only are they not making the money they would like, they are also not happy. And I can tell you, in the 35 years that I've been teaching, I have not been unhappy doing it.
Excellent.
And so if you follow your passion, happiness will be with you. And I don't think you have to worry about money, because, as my father said, if you do what you do well, and most people tell me that I do what I do reasonably well, you can get paid well enough to be happy.
Exactly. That's our segment. We'd like to thank Dr. Gordon for joining us. Any last words, Dr. Gordon?
Well, I certainly am exceedingly proud of you, because I've known you for a number of years, and this is one of the things that you had talked about early in your career doing. This is something that really caught your eye, and something that you wanted to do, and I'm very happy that you have. And I know it wasn't easy. Nothing's easy.
Not at all.
You worked very hard and made lots of sacrifices so that you can do what you want to do. And in doing what you want to do, you're going to be helping lots of other deserving people. So I applaud you, and I'm very proud of you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Thanks, everyone. That was our show. Until next time.